The Marlins opening day of 1993, so that would make him 5 to 6 years old, and he remembers a great deal about the game. Now he's center stage, and the big right-hander's first pitch to Scott Podsednik is taken for a strike. Scott Podsednik, the newest Dodger, spent 8 years in the minor leagues, and he's become a very successful major leaguer. Left-hand hitter swings, hard ground ball, backhanded by Jerry Hairston to throw him out. So Podsednik hits the ball sharply but grounds out. It took a good play to get him one away. Let's set the Padres defensively. They stack up this way: Gonzalez, Jerry Hairston, Cabrera, and Headley. The outfield of Scott Hairston, Gwynn, and Denorfia, and the battery of Latos and Torrealba. There is a strong rumor here in San Diego. We can't certainly qualify it except to say that they are now publishing the report. It had been a rumor, now it's confirmed. The Padres have acquired infielder Miguel Tejada from Baltimore in exchange for a right-hand pitcher, Win Pelcher. So Miguel Tejada will be coming here. He will give the Padres a needed bat. And of course, he's probably going to make Everett Cabrera sit down. Rafael Furcal up there on a check swing, and they count 1 ball and 1 strike with Andre Ethier on deck. Furcal hitting .318. Everett Cabrera has not been able to swing the bat at all for the last 2 months, so they went out to get Tejada. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Furcal with Ethier on deck. Rafael backs off and takes a strike, and the count 1-2. A beautiful day, 71 degrees, and a canopy of blue overhead. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Latos delivers low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Rafael trying to get something going. He has 7 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Latos 30 walks and 106 strikeouts. The big right-hander comes back low and away, and that runs the count to 3-2. So Furcal up there trying to get started. The Dodgers 6 games back at San Diego, as you know. The Giants, by losing today, technically are 3 back. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and bounced foul outside of first and down the line. Matt Latos, who went to Coconut Creek High School in Florida, he committed to a baseball scholarship at the University of Oklahoma, and he didn't sign with the Padres. He didn't go to Oklahoma either. He chose to attend community college. Furcal, meanwhile, swings and misses and strikes out. So 2 down in the first inning. Latos picks up a K, and the batter will be Andre Ethier. For Matt Latos, he has a very good fastball, clocked as high as 97. Then he has the slider, the curveball. He used to throw a knuckle change, and the Padres have turned that around, changed the grip, and it's a straight change now. So the big right-hander, very emotional, and comes to the plate, fastball fouled away, and the count 0-1. Andre Ethier has suddenly dipped under 300, batting .299, 16 home runs, 59 runs batted in, and of course knocked in 2 to win the first game here, 2-0. Latos comes back, fastball very high. So far, Big Blonde has made 11 pitches. Latos spells that last name Latos. He won't be 23 into December. The 1-1 pitch. Ethier takes a strike, and the count 1-2. Last year, left-handers hit .271 against him, and right-handers hit .200. Latos looks over his glove, now goes to his windup, and the 1-2 pitch fouled off. So Andre is still there, 1-2. Chris Young, who's been sidelined almost the entire year for San Diego, he had been their ace. He's even taller than Latos. He's the one who took young Matt under his wing. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. If you take strike 3 call. Lato starts the game striking out 2 of 3. The Dodgers come up with nada. And at the end of half an inning, Vicente Padilla going to work. Wearing those uniforms from many, many years gone by. It's explained on the roof of the visiting dugout occupied by the Dodgers today. It is called Throwback Thursdays. So they play these weekday Thursday games at about 3:30 in the afternoon, kind of an odd hour. And we go to the bottom of the first inning with Jerry Hairston, and he'll be followed by Chris DeNorfia and then Adrian Gonzalez. Chase Headley hits cleanup. Then Torey Alba, Scott Hairston, and Tony Gwynn. Everett Cabrera hits eighth, and Matt Latos on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Vicente Padilla, 2-1 lifetime against the Padres with a record of 4-3, and he starts Jerry Hairston with a strike. Padilla has not faced the Padres since 2006, so I don't think there was anybody on the club playing today back then. Strike one pitch is fouled away, and the plate umpire Brian O'Nora got that one. So Brian is shaken up and limping noticeably behind the plate. So to give him a break, Ausmus goes out to the mound to talk to Padilla. And on TV in the replay, we can see the ball hit him, I believe, on the left ankle in the very front of the ankle, above the shoe itself. So Brian trying to shake it off. Brian O'Nora has been umpiring for 14 years. He lives in Ohio. Became interested in umpiring after reading an article about it in a magazine, and it's made his lifetime work. So Hairston, who had a big hit last night, Jerry playing second base, had a double in the seventh inning last night to drive in two, then had a single to drive in another. So he drove in 3 of the 6 Padre runs. He takes off the plate. Interesting, if you took last night's score, Padres 6, Dodgers 1, you add it together, that's 7. That's the combined runs they average since 2009. The 1-2 pitch fouled away. So neither club really with a lot of punch, and especially playing in this spacious ballpark. Of course, the big guy, as far as San Diego is concerned, Adrian Gonzalez, has 21 home runs. So Jerry Hairston, the second baseman, made a good play to take a hit away from Scott Posednik, and he fouls another one back. Jerry and Scott, Jerry is about 4 years older. Scotty's playing left field. Jerry plays second base. Then DeNorfia and Adrian Gonzalez. And if anybody gets on, the third baseman, Chase Headley. Padilla holds the ball out in front, now turns on the rubber and comes back and just misses outside. Pretty good fastball at 93, and that runs the count to 2-2. Padres are playing their 100th game today. Dodgers are playing game number 102. And the pitch to Hairston is a ground ball slowly to short. Double clutch by Furcal, whose hurry throw gets away from Loney, and it's backed up by Osman. Rafael Furcal charging the slow hit ball and double clutch. And of course, that's always trouble, and it will go as a base hit. Hairston, a slow roller to short. So that means Jerry Hairston now has 3 consecutive hits, a double and a single last night, and now an infield single today. And Chris DeNorfia will be coming up. DeNorfia had 1 hit last night in the 7th inning. He also had a very important walk, and he was 0 for 4 in the first game. DeNorfia had a 7-game hitting streak snap in the first game. So Chris checking in. Padilla set at the belt, looks over his shoulder at Hairston, still watching him. Now to the plate, way inside, ball 1, 1-0. For Jerry Hairston has stolen 7 of 12. Scott Hairston has stolen 6 out of 7. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Chris DeNorfia. Padilla out of his stretch. Watching first carefully, a fake by Hairston, and the pitch, a soft line drive at Furcal. Not hit hard. Line drive would perhaps describe the trajectory. And we have 1 away. We can take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and they have Paul, Posednik, and Ethier in the outfield. Carroll, Furcal, DeWitt, and Loney on the infield, with Brad Ausmus handling Vicente Padilla. Out in center field, Scott Posednik, and of course you could have a big conversation with him as far as the pronunciation of his name. It's Podscdn, and some say that the D is silent. He says he calls himself pronouncing that first D, Posednik, but at one time they told a story when he was playing for Milwaukee. It is a Czech name, and a fan held up a sign saying the D is silent in Posednik. The pitch of the plate now to Adrian Gonzalez with low, ball 1. The Dodgers put up that triangle defense. That means Carroll is on the other side of the bag. Rafael Furcal stays at shortstop. So you have Carroll, DeWitt, and Loney on the right side. Gonzalez, 21 home runs, 66 runs batted in, fouls it back. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. For quite a while when the season began, they thought down here that they would be trading Adrian Gonzalez. But then when the going got so great and they found themselves in first place, it looks like Adrian will stay right here. 1-1 the count. Padilla very deliberate with men on base. Now comes to Gonzalez, who fouls it away, and the count 1-2. And again, to provide a little help for Gonzalez, get an extra bat, the Padres have made a deal to pick up Miguel Tejada. Tejada, a 6-time All-Star, is 36 years old, but he has 16 doubles, 7 home runs, 39 RBIs, so he would certainly help Adrian Gonzalez and Chase Headley. 1-2 the count. Padilla again at the belt, watching Hairston, still watching with 1 out. Now to the plate, and it's fouled away off to the left out of play. Last night, Gonzalez had a little pop fly single that dropped in front of the charging Matt Kemp. Tony Gwynn made the quick judgment and came home to score. Chris DeNorfia moved on to third base on the pop fly, and the Padres were off and running. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. Padilla ready, another check at first. Now Vicente to the plate, very high, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So Gonzalez, who walked twice last night, had the pop fly single, in the first game of the series, in order to foil that triangle defense, he had a base hit to left field. And hitting back of him, the switch hitter, Chase Headley. 2-2 the count. Gonzalez batting .294. Padilla ready. Another look at first. Still looking. The 2-2 pitch. A one-hopper wedged into the triangle for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Hairston. So even though they put up the picket fence, he hit it between the slats. You had Carroll and DeWitt, and the ball went between Carroll and DeWitt and on through. So it was more than just a wedge shot. He really had to get that thing through in a hurry, and he did. So Gonzalez, a hard single into right field. Padres with runners at first and second, 1 out, and Chase Headley coming up. Headley last night had a double and 2 walks, so he went 1 for 3, and he was 1 for 4 in the first game. Chase hitting .269. All of his big numbers are hitting left-handed. So Padilla checks and delivers the soap bubble, and it just misses for ball 1. First time he's thrown it today. For Headley, hitting .303 left-handed, just .195 right-handed. 6 of his 7 home runs hit left-handed. So Padilla in a little trouble here. An infield single by Hairston, a 1-out single by Gonzalez. Headley waiting. Padilla delivers another soap bubble outside. Ball 2. Once in a while he'll throw him back to back, and once in a while he'll pay the price. Most recently he threw back to back soap bubbles to Ike Davis of the Mets, and I hit the second one into the bleachers in left center field at Dodger Stadium. So after 2 of them misses, we'll see now what he does with Chase Headley. Padilla at the belt, looks at the runners with 1 out, and the 2-0 pitch coming up, and it is taken for a strike, working down around the knees with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And I'm sure after looking at 2 soap bubbles in the 60s, he even throws it in the high 50s. Fastball looks even faster. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Hairston and Gonzalez out there with 1 away. Padilla again set. Vicente delivers. Fastball fouled away off third, out of play. We've had good sized crowds. The first game Tuesday night, 38,428. Last night, 40,188. Today would be the lighter of the 3, and still a pretty good crowd for a Thursday afternoon. Coming into this series, the Padres were averaging about 25,000 a game. 2-2 the count to Chase Headley with Yorba Torrealba on deck. Out of a stretch is Padilla. Just brings his hands together at the belt, so no real stretch. And the pitch is a little low, and he's gone all the way. So you look at Headley hitting left-handed, and the first thing you notice, he has struck out a total of 82 times, 60 left-handed, and he's grounded into 4 double plays. He has walked 19 times hitting left-handed. So we'll see what that means as far as running Hairston and Gonzalez with 1 out. Padilla is ready, double checking. They're not going, and the pitch is fouled away. So 3-2 the count. Yorba Torrealba is on deck. The catcher caught the first game. Torrealba had a 10-game hitting streak, caught the first game and had 2 hits, give him an 11-game streak. He did not play last night, so he'll bring that streak up to the plate whenever. Padilla looks to Ausmus again. Now he's ready. Runners were not going on the last one. We'll see what they do this time. 3-2. They hold their ground, and Headley fouls it away off third down the line and out of play. 3-2 the count. So Chase Headley, the switch hitter out of Fountain, Colorado, went to the University of Tennessee, and he still lives in Knoxville. High school valedictorian and an academic All-American, and a wonderful athlete. Baseball football, basketball. 3-2 for the third time, and he swings, line drive, base hit into right center. Scoring is Hairston. Stopping at second is Gonzalez, and it is 1-0 San Diego. So Headley, a line drive base hit, third hit of the inning, and the Padres are on the board as Headley with the base hit and the run batted in. So now with the Padres out in front, here is Torrealba with his 11-game hitting streak. With runners in scoring position this year, Torrealba is hitting .465. Well, he has Adrian Gonzalez at second base right now and Chase Headley at first. So Padilla in trouble. So are the Dodgers. 1-0 Padres. Vicente set, ready, and delivers. Flips it in for a strike. From the reaction of Torrealba, he thought the pitch was low. 0-1 the count. Yorbit from Venezuela. Asked him about growing up as a kid. He said, I remember my first game, I was a third baseman. I made 4 errors. The pitch to Torrealba is a little high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. So after making 4 errors in 1 game at third, Torrealba, a very wise 8-year-old, and decided to go behind the plate. And it has certainly paid off. Torrealba originally signed as a free agent by the Giants. 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on late and missed. 1-2. Couldn't catch up to a 92-mile-an-hour fastball up and in. For Padilla, working very hard now. He's made 26 pitches. 17 strikes, 9 balls. 1-2 the count to Torrealba. 1-0 San Diego. Padilla ready, back he comes. Torrealba swings, pops it foul behind the plate. Ausmus comes back, but it's in the crowd. Dodgers will leave here immediately after the ball game. That is to say, immediately by the time the fellas shower and shave, pack up, get through security at the airport, and then fly up to San Francisco. And the big announcement for the Dodgers as far as the Giants series is concerned, Monasterios will face Tim Lincecum in Game 1. Barry Zito is going to pitch Saturday, and the Dodgers have announced that Chad Billingsley will come back. He volunteered to do so and pitch against Zito on Saturday. The pitch to Torrealba is in there for a strike. The Torrealba frozen at the plate. He can't believe that was called a strike, but he's done. So Torrealba is called out, and the batter now will be Scott Hairston. So Padilla gets himself a borderline call in his direction. And here's Scott Hairston. The final game on Sunday with the Giants will pit Clayton Kershaw and Matt Cain. So Lincecum, Zito, and Cain. That will be the weekend. And then immediately 4 with the Padres at Dodger Stadium. And then the weekend with Washington. A breaking ball in for a strike to Scott Hairston, hitting .238. Scott Hairston hit by a pitch last night, and then when the pitch by Richards almost hit Russell Martin on the foot, the plate umpire, Chris Guccione, warned both teams, and that was that. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and that's taken for a strike, and the count 0-2. Hairston last night 1 for 3 and scored twice. So Scott in and out, now waiting again. 0-2 the count. Gonzalez at second, Headley at first. 1-0 San Diego in the first inning. Padilla delivers, almost hit him up and in. Not too much on a curveball, it just didn't break. 1-2 the count. Turned him around a little bit, that's for sure. Will Padilla looks down the barrel again. Ausmus shuffling cards, flashing out the signs. And the 1-2 pitch coming up. He delivers a little high. 2-2 the count. So in the inning, Hairston an infield single to short. DeNorfia lined out. Gonzalez single to right. Headley single to right, scoring Hairston. Torrealba called out on strikes. And here, with deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 1-0 San Diego. Padilla at the belt. Vicente delivers, and a soft line drive backhanded by Padilla for the end of the inning. So Padilla, nice defensive play. Padres get 3 hits, 1 run, and at the end of an inning lead 1-0. Second inning, Matt Latos looking for his 12th victory. Started off in high style by striking out for Call and Ethier. Now it will be Loney, Paul, and Carroll in that order. By the way, just a thought. As the Dodgers go to San Francisco, you might be wondering about San Diego. They will be hosting the Florida Marlins. And earlier this year, San Diego has won 5 out of 6 from Florida, winning them all in the Marlins home ballpark. Latos into the windup now, and the big right-hander over the top with a fastball high. 1-0 the count to Loney, batting .293, 7 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Latos again ready. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. 1-1. Pretty good slider down and in. We had mentioned earlier that big Chris Young had taken Latos under his wing to kind of help the 22-year-old. 1-1 pitch is whacked into right field. That's going to go all the way. But James Loney provides some power. He hits it into the bleachers. There was no doubt about it. And just like that, we have a 1-1 tie. For Loney, his 8th home run of the year, and for Latos, that would be the 12th home run that he has allowed. So 1-1, as Loney really lowered the boom, got a fastball just above the belt out over the plate and crushed it. So they're even, and here comes Xavier Paul. So one of the 2 men in the lineup from whom you would expect a little power. It would be Ethier and Loney provides it in his first at-bat. Remember, last night, the Dodgers went down 19 in a row, and then they had 3 batters in a row go out today. So they had 22 batters consecutively retired, and then Loney hits it out. So James ties it up. Dodgers last night had a base hit in the third inning by Jamie Carroll to drive in a run and were never heard from again. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way. Paul takes low and away. 1-2 the count. The Dodgers won, Padres won. Second inning. Xavier Paul followed by Jamie Carroll and Blake DeWitt. So the Dodgers, with the lineup today, you would expect to be playing little ball, as they say, with the exception of Ethier and Loney. Ground ball to shortstop. Cabrera is up with it. Everett takes care of Xavier Paul. And we have one away in the second inning. You know, Wednesday, be sure to join the Dodgers and Padres. First 30,000 fans take home an LA beach towel. Compliments of Jack in the Box and Prime Ticket. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Jamie Carroll, who knocked in the only Dodger run last night, comes up now with one out, bases empty, and a 1-1 tie. Latos into the windup. Over the top fastball that jumped in there at 96. Boy, you talk about a guy with a downward plane. Latos 6'6", standing on a 10-inch mound, and that good fastball really jumped in there. Strike 1 pitch on the way. This one's very high. 1-1 the count. Well, we hope the weather's just as good up home because it is beautiful here in San Diego. 71 degrees. The 1-1 pitch to Jamie Carroll in there for a strike. He had a look at the slider and it cost him a strike. 1-2. On deck, Blake DeWitt. Dodgers with a record of 25-9 within the division. The 1-2 pitch to Carroll, swung on and missed, and down he goes. Strikeout number 3 for Matt Latos. Latos earlier this year pitched a one-hitter, so he's got all kinds of great stuff. He pitched a one-hitter against the Giants. The catcher Eli Whiteside led off the 6th inning with an infield single, the only Giant hit that day. So now here is Blake DeWitt and looks at a strike. That one-hitter turned in by Latos was the 17th one-hitter in Padre history, believe it or not. Latos comes right back with a strike. He's gone after the hitter. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2 the count to Blake DeWitt. So it's 6-6 and 220 as the players say he can bring it. And DeWitt swings and misses. Down he goes. 2 more strikeouts for Latos. He has struck out 4, but James Loney reaps the seats in right field with a no doubt about ride on a fastball. And at the end of an inning and a half, a 1-1 tie. In a 1-1 tie, it'll be Tony Gwynn, Everett Cabrera, and then the pitcher, Matt Latos. Gwynn, like his dad, left-hand batter, has a look at a strike, and they count 0-1. Gwynn was involved in a key play last night, scoring from second on a bloop single to center. And, of course, had the ball been caught by Matt Kemp, he would have been doubled up. He fouls it away. And everybody talked about his judgment. And Tony Gwynn explained that the first thing you do when you get to second base, and they teach the Padre runners to look at the outfield and see where the outfielders are playing. So he felt at second that Matt Kemp was deep enough that he was not going to catch the blooper. He takes a strike, and so he's caught looking, and down he goes. So that'll be the second strikeout for Vicente Padilla as Gwynn takes a moving fastball. Strike 3 call. Everett Cabrera from Nicaragua against Vicente Padilla from Nicaragua. The most popular Nicaraguan, without a doubt, El Presidente Dennis Martinez, who pitched for years and had a perfect game against the Dodgers. Cabrera shows bunt, takes a strike. They have the Nicaraguan Athlete of the Year. And last year, Everett Cabrera won the award. So now, Padilla, who's certainly a candidate every year, will try to put the little guy out. Strike 1, soap bubble is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. I guess if you're Padilla, you figure this is Mike Davis. I'll give him a bubble, and if he wants to swing from the heels, he's not big enough to hit it out anyway. He's 5'8", 160 maybe. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, and it's foul back on a fastball, 0-2. So since the Padres have made the deal for 36-year-old Miguel Tejada, you would assume that Cabrera is going to be sitting down for a while. Switch hitter and not hitting really from either side. His average at .201. Left-hand hitter batting 197. Padilla ready and comes back 0-2. Ground ball by the mound down to Blake DeWitt, who throws him out. 2 down in the second inning. Well, Dodgers won the first game 2-0. Padres came back to win the second game 6-1, and this one right now 1-1. The scores of the meeting so far this year, only one so-called blowout when the Padres and John Garland beat the Dodgers 10-5. Otherwise, 4-3, 4-1, 1-0, 2-0, and then last night 6-1. First pitch is low to Latos, 1 ball and no strikes. Latos has a home run, 3 runs batted in, so they have to be careful with him. Big right-hand batter swings, fouls it away. Latos has a half a dozen hits, including 2 doubles, a home run, 3 runs batted in. Strikes out a little bit less than 50%. And he does bring that big strike zone up there. The 1-1 pitch, Matt takes a strike, and the count 1-2. Padilla again looks down the barrel. Here he comes 1-2, off speed, fouled at the plate. Well, that's a tribute to Latos. That 66-mile-an-hour curveball. The old story, you never change up on a pitcher unless he's a pretty good hitter. And Padilla changing off the curveball. The 2-2 or 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. So down goes Latos, down go the Padres. Third strikeout for Vicente Padilla, and at the end of 2, a 1-1 tie. hits for the Padres to score. It took one swing by James Loney. Matt Latos has allowed 12 home runs this year. 14 of the 32 runs allowed home runs, and that means that 12 of them came with the bases empty. And the home run that he gave up to Loney in this spacious ballpark, the fourth that he has allowed at home this year. So for the Dodgers, Brad Ausmus, then Padilla, then Posednik, and Latos in a 1-1 tie, and the big guy about ready to go to work. Ausmus is rather remarkable in his final year. He announced he would retire. He fouls it back. A 41-year-old who has major back surgery, only to come back and the other day catch 12 innings of a 13-inning game. He went 2 for 6. He's got a double, knocked in a run in that extra inning game. So Brad waiting at the plate. Latos right back after him with a strike. 0-2 the count. Latos has struck out 4, and he's been going right after the hitters. And Loney got a fastball belled high out over the plate and knew what to do with it. Latos again ready. Back he comes 0-2, and this one is off the plate. 1-2 the count to Brad. When Chris Young was advising Matt Latos, Young said, "I want to tell you something important that Greg Maddux once told me." Ausmus fouls it back, and Maddux told Young, who relayed it on to Matt Latos, "Don't ever sacrifice stuff for a location." And he has taken that to heart, and he's 11-4. Big guy ready, and his 1-2 pitch on the way. Over the top, a little low. 2-2 the count. Latos, when he was a little younger in the minor leagues, 18, 19, highly emotional, high strung, wore his heart on his arm, and got into all kind of emotional conflict. Ausmus swings and misses. Down he goes. 5 strikeouts for Latos, including 3 in a row. A reminder, be sure to bring your kids to Dodger Stadium, and with a purchase of every adult ticket on the field or Lowe's level, kids 14 and under, just $5. For details, visit Dodgers.com/special. Boy, what a treat that is for a youngster. One of the best seats in the house for $5. A dream come true. Meanwhile, Vicente Padilla up there takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Hello. 0-1 the count. On deck, Scott Posednik. The next pitch to Padilla, he really swings from the heels but comes up empty, and the count 0-2. Latos this year is high in strikeouts, 9. He's got 5 already today. Strike 2 pitch to Padilla, high and away, ball 1. 1-2. Padres scored a run in the first inning on 3 singles. The third hit, a single by Headley, drove in the run. And then Loney homered, leading off the second, and that's it. The next pitch to Padilla is swung on and missed. Down he goes. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Latos. He has a half a dozen strikeouts, and Scott Posednik will be coming up in a second. He's going to let Padilla get back to the dugout before he does come to the plate. Posednik, in his debut as a Dodger, hit a sharp ground ball up the middle, and Jerry Hairston threw him out. So Scott checking in. Posednik is 34 years old. He's from a little town in Texas. The name of the town is West. So if you say, "Where are you from?" and he'll say West Texas, and you say, "Yeah, what part of West Texas?" and it sounds like Abbott and Costello. The pitch to him is off the plate, ball 1. He is 6'1", 190. At one time for the Brewers, he stole 70 bases 6 years ago. He has stolen 296 in his career. He has 30 stolen bases so far this year. He was hitting over 300 in the American League. And Scotty takes low. Posednik, a name based in the roots of Czechoslovakia. Whether you pronounce or don't pronounce the first D, he's going to take ball 4. His nickname has always been Pod, and he would be the second Dodger to have the nickname Pod. The other, of course, was Johnny Padres. So we have another Pod. Now, with all of his stolen bases, we'll see what he does as Rafael Furcal comes up. After striking out 4 in a row and 6 so far in the game, Latos walks Posednik. Scott taking a lead, but of course he's a newcomer to the league. He has to figure out the moves of all these pitchers. Latos out of a stretch, a high stretch. Pitch to Furcal is even higher. Ball 1. Rafael struck out in the first inning. We're only in the third, and Latos has struck out Furcal and Ethier, Carroll and DeWitt, Ausmus and Padilla. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Posednik draws a throw and gets back on his hands and knees. Posednik with 296 career stolen bases. That town west in Texas, a population of about 2,500. Not only has he been called Pod, they've called him Podzilla, and his fans have been called the Pod Squad. So Posednik takes the lead. Latos out of a stretch, and the 1-0 pitch to Rafael Furcal is taken for a strike and a 1-1 count. We are 2 down, top of the third, in a 1-1 tie. Posednik off the bag, draws another throw and dives back. And of course, like every talented base stealer, it's an art. Posednik wants to see the best move that Latos has without being picked off. It gets awfully close over there, but he's going to school. Another thing about Posednik in his background, he is one of these hard-working guys. Spends hours looking at videotapes, collects notes on pitchers, and then applies them with the scouting reports. And there he goes, and Latos forgot all about him. The pitch gets away at the plate, and Posednik has a stolen base, and Latos only now gets the news. So Posednik was stealing second while Latos was still in his stretch. Brian O'Nura, the plate umpire, saw the pitch get away as Posednik really lifted the wallet, and for the second time O'Nora hit by the pitch. So the plate umpire is hurting. Meanwhile, Darren Balsley's gone out to talk to Latos. The other umpires are checking to make sure O'Nora is all right. And Posednik got a huge jump. There wasn't a thing Torrealba could do. So Posednik does what you expect him to do. He gets a walk and he steals in a 1-1 tie. He's waiting to be picked up by Rafael Furcal. The pitch, the backhanded effort by Torrealba, he just missed it. The ball struck O'Nura on the right shin, and as he hobbled away, Posednik into second base. 2-1 the count. Torrealba behind the plate. See him holding his hand as if pointing towards the runner, and Latos let it go anyway. Also, the plate umpire should be wearing shin guards underneath his slacks, but that still shook him up. All right, 2-1 the count to Rafael Furcal. Posednik at second with his first stolen base as a Dodger. He'll get plenty of them. Now the 2-1 pitch coming up. Latos deals on the outside corner for a strike. Little straight change, 84 miles an hour. So he can go from a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball to that changeup. Ethier waits on deck. 2-2 to Rafael Furcal. Latos said, here he comes, and it's fouled away. Dodgers haven't seen much of Latos. We mentioned they saw him for 3 innings last year. Furcal was 1 for 1 in that game, but he struck out today, so he's 1 for 2. So Posednik, a tiebreaker at second base, can afford to take a big lead. Out of a stretch goes Latos, looks back now, comes over the top, and that's fouled away by Furcal. So the count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rafael. 37 runs batted in and 7 home runs. If you are a manager, you're always careful and respectful of everybody, really, but especially the veteran player. And Joe Torre went to Furcal before he penciled Posednik in the leadoff role, and Rafael said, "No, I'm fine with it." He fouls another one off, and the count remains 2-2. Got a piece of a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that time. So the deuce is wild, and of course Joe knows, having had a great career himself, and that's one of his strengths as a manager, the fact he knows how a player likes to be treated, and he applies it. So Posednik in the leadoff role, robbed of a hit by Hairston, and then walked and steals second. Rafael struck out in the first inning, and up there now 2-2. Dodgers 1, Padres 1. Game 3, but 4 more on the horizon starting Monday, after the Dodgers meet Lincecum and company on the weekend. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Furcal, a big chop roll on first base. Adrian Gonzalez takes it to the bag, and that's it. So they leave Posednik at second base. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. At the end of 2.5, a 1-1 tie. Means Gary Hairston, Chris DeNorfia, and Adrian Gonzalez against Vicente Padilla, who gave up 3 hits for a run in the first inning. Dodger run, a home run by James Loney. And here we go in the third. Hairston singled a shortstop in the first inning and came around to score the Padre run. And he takes off speed, low and inside, ball 1. 64-mile-an-hour curveball. Just a little bit of a break at the end of it, but not that soap bubble. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed. Fastball in on the hands. He got that one at 89. Jerry Hairston batting .254, 7 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Of course, the Padres, not to knock Hairston, but they really miss David Epstein. Ground ball to third. A nice sprawling stop by Jamie Carroll, who gets up and throws him out. So Hairston losing a base hit. Fine play for Jamie. And we have one away in the third inning. So the batter will be Chris Denorfia. David Eckstein has a strain of the calf, and they took an MRI and they said it is not serious. Eckstein, who really is a major pest as far as offensively giving the opposition a bad time, so they really miss him. There's that soap bubble, but he misses for ball one. That was 56 miles an hour. I don't think Eckstein would be ready to play in the 4-game series at Dodger Stadium. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's a fastball strike to Denorfia, who hit a soft line drive to Rafael Furcal in the first inning. Denorfia hitting .276, and he has a look at a pitch low. Born in Bristol, Connecticut, lives in Southington, Connecticut, and went to Wheaton College, which used to be an all-girls school. The 2-1 pitch, Denorfia takes low, ball 3. At first glance, you'll say, well, Denorfia can be very superstitious. He wears number 13. But then again, he might wear 13 because he is superstitious. 3-1 pitch, slow roller, wide of third. Carroll is on it to get him. So Denorfia taps out. Carroll now with 2 assists in the inning. And the batter will be Adrian Gonzalez. Casey Blake getting a well-deserved rest. Matt Kemp gets a day off. Russell Martin sits this one out as well. Adrian Gonzalez somehow singled against the triangle defense. He got it between Carroll and DeWitt. And DeWitt is a good 10 to 15 feet out into right field. Adrian takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. So they leave for call at shortstop, and Carroll suddenly is a second baseman. 1 ball and no strikes, and now DeWitt goes even deeper in right field. The 1-0 pitch on the way in for a strike. Yeah, that's as deep as the Dodgers have played the second baseman against Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, he really is a, what were they saying, softball, a short fielder. 1-1 to count. Padilla right back, fastball missing, though he's behind. Gonzalez means so much to this ball club. Give you one idea, with runners in scoring position, he's batting .392. Enough said. Adrian back up and waiting. 2-1 to count. Long look by Padilla, and here he comes. 2-1. The soap bubble fouled away. The crowd really murmuring. That was 53 miles an hour. It's got to look like a basketball, but it's so hard, I guess, to time it. 2-2 the count. You try to stay back, and sometimes you're late. All right, Padilla has him set up for what? On the heels of a soap bubble and a 2-2 count. Vicente staring in. Now he's ready. And here he comes. Fastball grounded wide of first to Loney. James takes it to the bag. That'll do it for the Padres in the third. That means Padilla now has retired 8 in a row. And at the end of 3, a 1-1 tie. Vicente Padilla, Clayton Kershaw, or Hung Chi Kuo? Well, text your answer to 86212 on your cell phone and we'll find out. Meanwhile, we got a good one boiling here. 1-1 in the fourth. Ethier, Loney, and Paul against Matt Latos. Ethier struck out in the first inning. Ball one. Dodgers scored on Loney's home run after the Padres had 3 singles in the first inning to get their run. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Andre is hitting .330 against right-handers. Over 100 points lighter, however, against left-handers. And a high fly ball down the right field line. A trio of Padres, but it's back in the stand. 2-1 to count to Andre Ethier. So far in the series, 1 for 5, but it was a big one. That pinch hit single up the middle to drive in 2 and give the Dodgers a 2-0 win in game 1. Dodgers have 1 hit. That was the home run by Loney. 2-2 as he goes right after him with a letter high fastball. 2-2. And another one, but it's off the plate. He hits 97 on that last pitch. 6'6", 220, and in the parlance of the trade, he can bring it. Fouled away. Padres will wait for the Florida Marlins to come here. They've beaten the Marlins 5 out of 6 so far this year. The Marlins shut down the Giants today. Anibal Sanchez pitched a 1-hitter. 5th inning single by Pablo Sandoval. 3-2. Hard ground ball backhanded at third by Headley. 1 away. James Loney came up. It was 1-0 San Diego, and he got a fastball out over the plate just above the belt, and he certainly knew what to do about it. One of those no doubt about home runs. As soon as he connected, you know it was on. So James with 8 home runs. Checking in. Loney with 66 runs batted in. So Ethier has 16 home runs. Loney has 8. So they have 24 home runs from the 2 fellas you expect to provide the power. Breaking ball dropped in nicely for a strike. Boy, even up here you could see that thing break. 0-1 to James. Fastball, need late. 0-2 to count. So he hit a home run on a fastball. Latos started him with the curve, came back with the fastball, and the count 0-2. Latos has 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. Another big breaking ball, but misses with this one. 1-2. Dodgers heading for San Francisco, and Tim Lincecum. A hopper to the right side to Hairston. Dodgers are basically either swinging and missing or hitting ground balls. The only ball hit in the air was Loney's home run. Dodgers last night could barely do much, and the last 19 in a row made out. Xavier Paul grounded to short in the second inning. Xavier hitting .248, grounded to short, 0 for 1 today. Pinch hit last night and fly to center. Started game 1 and went 1 for 4. 1 for 6 in the series. And a fly ball down the right field line. DeNorfia on the dead run and in foul ground. Catches up to it. So the Dodgers have done in the fourth, and at the end of 3.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. And is brought to you by the U.S. Army. For more information, visit GoArmy.com. And by Dodge. Visit us at Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. A 1-1 tie as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. We mentioned earlier, since last year, the combined runs in a Padre-Dodger game usually adds up to 7 or less. Last night it was 7, the night before 2-0, and today 1-1. Chase Headley, who lined a single to right to drive in the Padre run, then Torrealba and Scotty Hairston. Right. Headley's switch hitter, but he does all of his hitting this side of the plate. 0-1. 1-1 to Chase. Headley is a fella who throughout his career has struggled in day games. Going into this year, he had a career batting average in day games of just 198. Two and 1 to Chase. There's the soap bubble in for a strike. 2-2. Here she comes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fastball, but he missed. 3-2. The lowest soap bubble he's thrown today was 56 miles an hour. Three and 2 to Headley. And a high fastball puts him on. So after retiring 8 in a row, the string is broken as Headley draws a walk. And now Yorvit Torrealba who was called out on strikes in the first inning. And if you talk to him, I'm sure he would tell you that 2 of the 3 strikes missed the zone. He has an 11-game hitting streak, batting .309, 2 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Yorvit, about 5'11", 200-pounder. They keep an eye on Headley over at first base. Headley has stolen 13 out of 16. And of course, if you select the right pitch, if you're lucky to be going on a soap bubble, there's no way they can get you. One ball and no strikes. Padilla, more than any other Dodger pitcher, is so deliberate whenever there's a man on base. We have a 1-1 tie, 4th inning. And ball 2. So after working Headley tough and walks him, he's now behind to Torrealba. 2 balls and no strikes. And fouled away. When you match up some of the numbers, if you look at the Dodger record within the division, the Dodgers are 16 games above 500. The Padres are 4 games above 500. So that's a difference of 12. Then if you look at the road record, the Padres are 8 games above 500. The Dodgers are 4 games under. So there's really not that much to choose from between the 2 teams. At home, the Dodgers are 32-21, and the Padres are 31-20. 2-1 the count. And now Padilla in a little trouble, falling behind 3-1. The other interesting matchup is to take a look at 2 healthy squads. The Dodgers certainly would win in the outfield and in various positions on the infield. That's popped in the air, foul. Carroll coming over to the stands. No play. Certainly the one infielder who have an edge would be Adrian Gonzalez over James Loner. 3-2 the count. So the Padres, when you put it all together, 6 in front of the Dodgers. For the moment, 3 in front of the Giants, who lost this afternoon. And then while the Dodgers and Giants are rolling around AT&T Park, the Padres will be here with the Marlins. 3-2. There goes the runner on a foul ball. So Headley was moving. Torrealba fouls it off. 3-2 the count. I don't think Torrealba will ask the plate umpire, did he swing at a strike? Not after his previous at-bat where he disagreed twice with Honora and was called out on strike. Torrealba, of course, had been with the Rockies, so he picked a good time to move on. Headley goes and foul back again. Rockies did win today. They beat the Pirates 9-3. Ubaldo Jimenez picked up his 16th win. He is 16-2. But the Rockies need more than Jimenez. They began the day 9 games back with an 8-game losing streak, and they finally snapped that. So Headley's been going twice. No reason not to think he won't be going a third time. 3-2. Runner goes. Ball is whacked into left center field. That will go to the wall 401 feet away. Scoring is Headley on a long double by Torrealba. And the Padres take a 2-1 lead. Torrealba has now hit in 12 straight. Boy, did he ever get all over that thing. It's 401 in the wedge in left center. And that's where the ball wound up. So Padilla going 3 times 3-2. And Torrealba makes Posednik go all the way out there to pick it up. So 2-1 San Diego. And here is Scott Hairston now trying to pick up Torrealba. 2 runs, 4 hits. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. Loney's home run. Hairston hit a somewhat soft line drive that was backhanded by Padilla for the 3rd out in the 1st inning. And a strike. So Yorvit Torrealba with his 23rd run batted in. He now has a 12-game hitting streak, and the Padres have a 2-1 lead. 0-1 to Scott Hairston, playing left field. And hammers one to left, but it's hooking down the line, going into the shadows, and hooking foul out of play. It's 336 down the left field line, 322 down the right field line, 396 to straightaway center with the 2 angles, one 401 and the other in right center 400. 0-2 the count to Scotty Hairston. Fastball. No balls and 2 strikes. So Headley walked 3 times. Padilla had to go 3-2. And on the 3rd time, Torrealba hit a fastball into the gap for a double and a run. 0-2 to count to Hairston. A good fastball puts him away. That's the 1st out of the inning. 76 pitches made by Padilla now in 4 innings. For Padilla, that would be his 4th strikeout, and it brings up Tony Gwynn. Gwynn struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Tony hitting just .224, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. 2-1 Padres, 1 out in the 4th. There's the soap bubble, but it stayed high. Ball 1. Gwynn followed by Cabrera. Out at second base, Yorvit Torrealba. Fastball, hard ground ball. Loney staggers but stays with it. And on the play, Torrealba advances to 3rd. Now the shortstop, Everett Cabrera, who grounded out in the 2nd inning. And as we mentioned earlier, now you have 1 Nicaraguan pitching to a Nicaraguan hitter. Cabrera hitting .200. As a left-handed batter, he's hitting less than .195. Well, you don't want to lose him. And then you have Matt Latos, and Ausmus going out to talk to Padilla. It will be interesting for the pitch selection now with a runner at 3rd. Cabrera, of course, could always try to bunt. not a squeeze with 2 out, but he could just try to get the ball down. So Carroll comes up on the grass at third. Loney is up almost even with the bag at first, and Torrealba down the line. Ball 1. Cabrera last year with the Padres hit .255. And there's ball 2. Ausmus looks over and they said, never mind, put him on. So it shows you how cautious you can be when your ball club is not scoring any run. You walk a guy intentionally, hitting about 195 with 2 out in the 4th inning. And most managers absolutely hate to walk the 8th place hitter, especially a weak one as Cabrera. But Joe just can't afford to take any chances. So they put Cabrera on and try to get out of it against Latos, who struck out in the 2nd inning. Glenn Hoffman over to say something to Torrealba. Cabrera at first. 1 run in, and the Padres lead 2-1. No balls and 1 strike. The Matt Latos. See that right hand going up in the air. He was trying to call timeout. You have to do it vocally and back out of there for it to work. The umpire's not looking at your hands. He's concentrating on the pitcher. 0-2 the count to Matt Latos. So Padilla just trying to put him away and end the inning. Padilla, however, is working very hard. This will be his 26th pitch. He made 33 pitches in the 1st inning. Cabrera goes, and it's lifted foul and out of play. So hoping that something might happen, they run Cabrera, and Latos just gets a bit of it, fouls it off. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 things if you're a manager, you don't like. Number 1, putting the 8th place hitter on, and number 9, starting off the inning with your pitcher as the hitter. 0-2. Cabrera not going. That's a little high. 1-2 to a hitter who is 6 feet 6 inches. 86 pitches now for Padilla. That's a lot in the 4th inning. One and 2. Lays off the breaking ball. So 2-2 to count. If nothing else, it's an expensive inning for pitches made as Mattingly and Torrey look on. Waiting on deck, the leadoff man, Jerry Hairston. 2-2 the count to Matt Latos. Foul back. So every pitch a price. 88 pitches. So Yorva Torrealba, who doubled in Headley, standing at third. 2 out. The deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Padres lead 2-1. Foul back. So Latos is doing a heck of a good job, if nothing else, but expanding the at-bat pitches made by Padilla. He just fouled off a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And the count stays 2-2. But this is going to be the 90th pitch made by Vicente Padilla. This has been a 7-pitch at bat for Matt Latos, so that's a tribute to him. Two and two. And it got him. That big off-speed pitch. It was a curveball, though, not the soap bubble. And down goes Latos. Padilla struggles hard, gives up one, and at the end of 4, the Padres lead 2-1. Your $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Southwest. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. We're heading to the 5th inning in a tough pitching duel. The Padres leading the Dodgers 2-1. For Matt Latos, nothing new to concentrate on his art. Gavin Floyd, since the 10th of June, has an earned run average of less than 1. Josh Johnson 1.2 and Latos 1.3. And in talking about Josh Johnson, he is due to pitch Sunday here against the Padres, who have not announced their pitcher for Sunday. They have Wade LeBlanc on Friday, Kevin Correa on Saturday. So Latos now will be pitching to Carroll, DeWitt, and Ausmus. Ball one. Carroll struck out in the 2nd inning. Latos has struck out 6. Two and 0. Padres scored in the 1st inning on 3 singles. James Loney homered in the 2nd to tie it up. Yorva Torrealba doubled in Headley, who walked in the 4th, and it's 2-1 San Diego. Strike. 2-1 to Jamie. He's hitting .282. Carroll, who has been a most valuable player for the Dodgers, plays second base, plays third base, plays the outfield, even a little bit of shortstop if necessary. That's a strike. 2-2 to count to Jamie. Slap foul off to the right upstairs. A gentleman who brought his glove caught the ball amongst all the fans in that area. Think ahead. 2-2. Ball 3. Latos has allowed only the hit to Loney, the home run. He has walked 1. That was Posednik in the 3rd inning, who then stole second base. 3-2 to Jamie Carroll. And ball 4. So Carroll at first, the tying run. DeWitt, Ausmus, and Padilla due up in that order. Chase Headley over to talk to Latos. We mentioned that Matt had a tendency to show his emotions, get angry or whatever. So I think Headley went over to just change the subject in the mood. Of course, Latos only 22. Blake DeWitt struck out in the second inning. Blake hitting .274. Started at second base last night. Went 1 for 4. Another strike. 0-2. So Latos walks Carroll. Now gets out in front. No balls and 2 strikes. James McDonald gets up in the Dodger bullpen. And a little foul off third that will carry back into the crowd. 2 runs, 4 hits for San Diego. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. Dodgers last night had 1 run on 4 hits. With McDonald throwing in the bullpen and knowing Padilla has made quite a few pitches. Question now is if they get to a spot, they must be thinking to hit for him. 0-2 to DeWitt. Down he goes. Just about the same pitch, same location that struck him out in the second inning. Out there. That would be strikeout number 7 for Latos. Trying to win his 12th. Brad Ausmus struck out in the third inning, and Padilla now has come out in the on-deck circle, but McDonald is still throwing in the bullpen. And Kenny Howell has told McDonald to slow down to see what develops. McDonald will make a pitch and then watch. For Padilla, the question about hitting for him, he has made 90 pitches in the game. 65 pitches in 2 innings. 33 in the first, 32 in the fourth. So they're worrying about the score and Padilla's pitch count, and they have McDonald throwing. 0-1 to Ausmus. Jamie Carroll at first base is 6 for 6 in stolen bases. 2-1 Padres, 5th inning. In the dirt, nice save by Torrealba. New ball put in play. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the big kid, Matt Latos, out of Florida. 22 years old. He'll be 23 in December. Already one of the top pitchers in the league. 1-1. Ball 2. Well, on a 2-1 count with a 41-year-old catcher at the plate, a runner at first, Jamie Carroll, and the pitcher due up next, the first question is, would the Dodgers play hit and run? Will they run Carroll and hope that Ausmus can make contact and avoid the double play and extend the inning? So this is a big decision. Carroll goes, missed and just foul back. So Carroll will have to try it again. So they were playing hit and run. 2-2 the count to Brad Ausmus. Boa going through the signs. Carroll returning to first, looking across the diamond. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner not going, and that's high. So they put the play on 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll see now if they play run and hit, whereby Ausmus is not obligated to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. And you have Padilla on deck. 3-2. We'll watch Carroll. He goes, and it's ball 4 at the plate. So 2 walks put Latos in some trouble. More trouble for Padilla. Those 2 walks takes him right out of the game. So the Dodgers trailing 2-1 will make a move, and Garrett Anderson will be coming up to bat for Vicente Padilla. The Torre has to lift his right-hander, who made 90 pitches and was not going to be around too much longer anyway. So that was a big walk to Ausmus. So Padilla only going 5, not the required 5 innings to get a record. So the only thing he could do would be to lose the game, unless the Dodgers can tie it up somewhere along the way. So Garrett Anderson batting for Padilla. Garrett's family, son and daughter, along with his wife, down here watching the series. Garrett, coming off the bench, has 11 hits, including a home run, and 5 runs batted in. 2 on, and ball 1. So Latos, that had been so strong, walked 1 for Sednick in the 3rd inning, and he's walked 2 here in the 5th. So 7 strikeouts and 3 walks. 1 out. That's a strike. Goes the breaking ball, got it in there. 1-1. Anderson has 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. He has grounded into 6 double plays. 1-1. And that's fouled away. The 2 pitchers down here who come up with double plays like pulling rabbits out of a hat, John Garland and Clayton Richard. They have each had 15 double plays bail them out this year. 1-2 to Garrett Anderson. Carroll at second, Ausmus at first, 1 away in the 5th. 2-1 San Diego, and that's line to left field. It's going to be in front of left fielder Hairston, and he has trouble with it. In comes the tying run, and Dodgers have runners at second and third. I'm not sure whether Scotty Hairston was in shade and then tried to charge into the sunlight, whether that had anything to do with it. If you look out there in left field, you'll see there's a path of sunlight, and I think maybe he lost it. Then he lost his balance, and the next thing you know, Anderson is at second base. Ausmus at third, and Carroll brought the run in, and the game is tied 2-2. It'll be a base hit for Garrett Anderson, and then an error. So the base hit gets Carroll to third, and he scores on the error charge to Scott Hairston. So a 2-2 tie. Matt Latos, I'm sure, upset. Still only 1 out. Scott Posednik will be the batter with runners at second and third. And the infield up on the left, halfway on the right for the moment. Posednik, robbed of a hit by Jerry Hairston, walked and stole a base in the 3rd inning. So a 2-2 tie here in the 5th. And the Dodgers with a golden opportunity to take the lead. Right. Padres led 1-0. Dodgers tied at 1-1. Padres led 2-1. Dodgers have tied at 2-2. Joe Thatcher is up in the bullpen. No doubt looking ahead to Ethier. 1-1 the count. Latos has been making a lot of pitches. His pitch count is up to 86. 7 strikeouts and 3 walks will do that. One ball and 1 strike. So Latos now seems out of rhythm completely. 2-1 to count. A lot going on at 6-6. Well, the brain says do this, and that has to travel quite a ways. This will be 24 pitches in this inning. And in the dirt, overthrowing. 3-1 to count. Anxious moments in the Padre dugout, I'm sure. Dodgers and Padres tied 2-2. Darren Ball's lead. Bud Black sweating out 22-year-old Matt Latos. First base open. 3-1 to Scott Posednik. Little ground ball to first. Gonzalez goes to the plate, and the tag is applied. So Osmus is cut down 3-2 from Adrian Gonzalez to Yorba Torrealba. Second out. Dodgers now at first and third. Good accurate throw by Adrian. And Torrealba right there to block the plate with his right knee. So Osmus nailed. On the fielder's choice, Anderson is now at third. Posednik is at first. And of course, Posednik again will be putting pressure on Latos, a threat to steal. Anderson a very short lead down the line, but Posednik trying to do some mischief, I'm sure, sometime during this sequence. Furcal has struck out and grounded out. Breaking ball starts him with the curve, gets a strike. 0-1. Dodgers 2 runs, 2 hits. Padres 2 runs, 4 hits. Padilla's gone. Latos on the ropes. Anderson and Posednik at the corners. 0-1 to Furcal. Posednik with 30 stolen bases in the American League, and he really picked Latos' pocket in the third inning. Oh and 1. One ball and 1 strike. With a runner like Posednik, if you're Furcal, the chances are, even though he started you with a curveball for a strike, he'll be throwing more fastballs, trying to get the ball to Torrealba in case Posednik's going. So let's see how that works. 1 ball and 1 strike. Almost in the dirt with the breaking ball, the slider. So he's giving them curveball, fastball, slider, and a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Andre Ethier's on deck and Joe Thatcher in the pen. And now Thatcher has stopped. Ryan Webb is up in the pen. 2-1. Fastball hit in the air to shallow center. Glenn is there, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers, with a couple of walks and a base hit, managed to get 1. And at the end of 4.5, a 2-2 tie. of the month for July? Vicente Padilla, Clayton Kershaw, or Hung-Chi Kuo? The early returns, 53% say Clayton Kershaw, 29% Hung-Chi Kuo, 18% Vicente Padilla. Text your answer to 86212 on your cell, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Well, this is an interesting game to play out. James McDonald, who was dynamite for the Dodgers coming out of the bullpen last year, comes out of the pen today. You know, last year his earned run average in the pen 2.7. It'll be Jerry Hairston taking a strike. Hairston singled, scored a run, was lobbed of an extra base hit on a diving stop by Jamie Carroll in the third inning. That's a strike. 0-2. Jerry hitting .253. Padres led 1-0. Dodgers tied. Padres led 2-1. Dodgers tie. And we're in the bottom of the fifth. And a high fly ball, very playable. Pasednik is calling. Scotty makes the catch, one away. So McDonald gets Hairston. Now the batter is Chris DeNorfia. Lined out to short, grounded to third. On deck, Adrian Gonzalez. DeNorfia 0 for 2. Ball one. James McDonald, 6'5", about 195, born in Long Beach, went to Golden West Community College. Off the plate. Dodgers drafted him in the 11th round 8 years ago. His dad, a former NFL receiver, James McDonald. 3-0 the count with Adrian Gonzalez on deck. And a strike. Looking ahead, McDonald and Adrian Gonzalez. Little fly ball to right field. Ethier is there. So 2 down. Gonzalez 1 for 2 against McDonald in the pass. So 2 out on fly balls. And here's Adrian. Chase Headley on deck. Gonzalez singled to set up a run in the first inning. It was cashed in by Headley. Then last time up, he grounded out to Loney. And again, that triangle defense the Dodgers set up. Not just 3 men. The middle man is always way out in right field. That's DeWitt. That's a pretty far distance from the rim for a second baseman. Fly ball to left field. Xavier Paul out there in the shadow. So McDonald comes in, 3 fly balls for outs. And at the end of 5, the Dodgers 2 and the Padres 2. At 12-3, he went on to go 23-8, win the Cy Young Award, and of course help the Dodgers win the World Series. Now let's go back to this one. And we have a good one going, 2-2 in the sixth inning. It'll be Andre Ethier, followed by James Loney, and then Xavier Paul. 3 consecutive left-hand batters, though they bring in left-handed Joe Thatcher. Of course, the mystery remained why they didn't bring in Thatcher to face Ethier in game 1. They let Garland pitch to Ethier, who singled home 2 runs to win. They immediately brought in Thatcher to get for call, but the horse was down the road. So 2-2. Ethier has struck out, grounded out, and the starting pitchers are gone. Latos and Padilla. Big Joe Thatcher out of Indianapolis, 6'2", 230. Kind of sneaks that pitch in there. Ethier fouling it off. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andre. Hitting .297. But as you know, he's been struggling against left-hand pitching. Came into the game hitting .227 against left-handers. Big miss, 1 and 2. Padilla made 90 pitches. Latos made 93. 1 and 2. Fastball got him. I don't imagine Bud Black will ever not have Thatcher pitch to Ethier again. Just sneaks that thing in there. Strikeout number 1 for Thatcher after Latos had struck out 7. Here's Loney, homered into the seats above the scoreboard in right, and grounded out against Latos. Slow curveball for a strike. Loney is like Ethier, hitting .321 against right-handers, .225 against left-handers. And he's in a hole now, 0-2. You don't expect to see Thatcher pitch very long, so Ryan Webb, a right-hander, is in the pen. Boy, where was that pitch? That was something. And Loney backs out to try and figure it out. That's way up in there. No balls, 2 strikes. Joe Thatcher was not drafted in his senior year at Indiana State, so he signed with the River City Bandits of the Independent Frontier League. That's a great name, huh? The River City Bandits. Then during the Frontier League All-Star game, a Brewers scout spotted him, and they signed him, and he's fought his way to the big leagues. Came up to the Padres in 07. Curveball fouled away. 1-2 to James Loney. Thatcher is in his 33rd game. His earned run average is 1.7. So one of a member of a solid bullpen. Big breaking ball. They used to describe, I think it was Jim Bunning, as if he looks like he was falling out of a tree. Well, Joe Thatcher looks like he's falling out of a tree if he winds up going towards the third base foul line. And Loney, a fly ball to right field. Denorfia is there. So Thatcher gets 2 left-handers, and he has Xavier Paul coming up. Be sure to join the Dodgers Friday, August 6th. The Nationals are there on 80s night. First 20,000 fans will also take home a limited edition 80s themed poster featuring Matt Kemp. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. The king of swing, not Benny Goodman, Matt Kemp. Xavier Paul grounded to short, fouled out to right, ball one. Two out in the sixth inning and a 2-2 tie. Both starters are gone. Big round the corner curveball. Boy, that is a dandy. Curve or slider, however you want to call that breaking ball. He starts it behind your back and just runs it in there. Just did get it at the knees. Paul doesn't argue. 0-2. Fastball on the hand. So Thatcher does a great job. Comes in to retire 3, strikes out 2 of the 3. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, tied up 2-2. And by your Southern California Ford dealers, will you find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. Coming up about 5:45 in San Diego, and that means shadows on the field. A tough time indeed for the hitters. And Chase Headley will lead it off. 0-1. The mound in sunlight, but all kinds of shades down on the field. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both Padilla and Latos were throwing hard, but they were throwing in bright sunshine. They would really be rough now. Ball 2. Of course, McDonald is no walk in the park. James throws 93, 94. 2-1 to Headley. It's one thing to call it a throwback Thursday, and that's what they label these games here in San Diego. But the time makes it a throwback before there were lights. 2-2. McDonald served up 3 fly balls in his 1 inning. He pitched the 5th. Now he goes all the way to Headley with Torrey Alba and Scott Hairston to follow. And he walked him. So Headley is on base 3 times today with 2 walks and a single. Torrealba was called out on strikes, and then last time up, Torrealba 3 times had a 3-2 pitch, and the 3rd time was the charm. He hit it to the gap in left center field for a double to drive in a run. Rick Honeycutt will get on the phone, and in a moment we'll get somebody up in the Dodger bullpen. We have a 2-2 tie, bottom of the 6th. Headley at first. George Sherrill will be the first man up. Looking ahead, you have Tony Gwynn, the left-hand batter. And that's ball 1 to Torrealba. Torrealba doubled in the run in the 4th inning. He has hit safely now in 12 straight. Yorvit hitting .313. Well, he's having a big year since coming over from Colorado. 1 ball and no strikes. That's a strike. Torrealba with the Rockies. He had .291 last year. 2 home runs, 31 runs batted in, but he only played 64 games. 1 ball and 1 strike. That .291 batting average that he had with the Rockies last year would be his highest average. But right now hitting .313. Two and 1 the count to Yorvit Torrealba. Good breaking ball. Torrealba quit on it, thought it was high, and then the bottom dropped out of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Torrealba has a son, and they named him Yorvit. Yorvit Eduardo. Check swing, and it might have hit the bat. No indication of a foul ball, but I believe it did. Well, it should be still 2 balls and 2 strikes. McDonald in relief of Padilla. We have a 2-2 tie. Got him. So Torrealba strikes out, looking. Failing to advance Headley, and the batter is Scott Hairston. Scott Hairston struggling with that base hit by Garrett Anderson, and his error allowed Jamie Carroll to score, and that tied up the game. 2-2 in the 6th. Hairston hit a soft line drive back at Padilla in the 1st inning and struck out in the 4th. Hairston has 9 home runs. And ball 1. 1 year, 2 years ago with the Padres, Scott Hairston had 17 home runs. That would be his high in the big leagues. He's an even 6, 200-pounder. Check swing. 2-0 the count. No swing. Sherrill throwing in the pen. Tony Gwynn on deck. And then Cabrera, the switch hitting shortstop. Two balls and no strikes. Now back that fastball. That was 92, going from sunlight to shade. Ten minutes of 6. They'd be taking batting practice around now. Normally. 2-1. Headley at first with 1 out. Headley bluffs, draws a throw, and they got him. So on a 2-1 count, a hit and run count, Headley broke too soon. So the 1-3 pickoff, there he goes, then whoops and tries to get back, and he'll run right into that tag. But you know for sure they were gonna play hit and run on a 2-1 count. So now 2 down. Hairston with 2 out, bases empty. And that's on the corner. 2-2. When the Dodgers bat in the 7th, they have Carroll, DeWitt, and Ausmus, and McDonald is due to bat 4th. Two and two. Swung on and missed. It gets away from Ausmus. The out recorded at first. So it's a nice inning, and an inning plus an inning for McDonald. Strikes out 2, picks off a man, and at the end of 6, a 2-2 tie. By Headley, scored Jerry Hairston, and the Padres led 1-0. Second inning, James Loney led off, got a fastball and hit it into the seats in right center field. That tied it up 1-1. Then in the 4th inning, the Padres had Yorvit Torrealba double into the gap in deepest center. Headley scoring from first easily, and the Padres led 2-1. But the Dodgers in the 5th inning on 2 walks got a pinch hit single by Garrett Anderson. Then the ball misplayed in left field by Scott Hairston. Carroll came around to score on the error, and we have a 2-2 tie. So for the Dodgers, Carroll, DeWitt, and Ausmus in the 7th, and Ryan Webb coming in. The right-hander's out of Florida. His father, Hank Webb, pitched in the major leagues for the Mets and even briefly for the Dodgers. Hank Webb pitched for the Dodgers back in 1977. And his dad, total 7-9. So Ryan, 6'6", 210, 24 years old, another young, strong arm coming out of the Padre pen. Kenley Jansen now gets up in the Dodger bullpen. If they have the chance, they will hit for McDonald. And also James has worked 2 innings. That's a strike. So Carroll has struck out, walked, scored, and Ryan Webb, as big as Latos, 6-6. 0-2. Ball one. The way the light and the sunlight is now, sitting up here, you get the feeling, boy, it's tough to see that ball coming from the mound to home plate. Fouled away. The Padres acquired Ryan Webb when they traded outfielder Scott Hairston to the Oakland A's. And the baseball fortunes brought Scott Hairston back here, and now they're teammates. 1-2. Fouled down the line. Webb's fastball, pretty good sinker, and he'll throw anywhere from 90 to 96. Then he has a curveball and a cutter. Cutter usually to the left-hand hitter. So Jamie runs the count 2 balls and 2 strikes in a 2-2 tie. The so-called rubber game, game 3. Dodgers won the first one. Padres won last night. And they'll meet 4 more times next week at Dodger Stadium. Got it. Fastball. And Jamie goes down. Well, remember, we asked, who do you think is the Dodger pitcher of the month for July? Vicente Padilla, Clayton Kershaw, Hung-Chi Kuo. Things have changed now. First they said Kershaw, but now 36% say Hung-Chi Kuo, 32% Clayton Kershaw, and 32% Vicente Padilla. So they're tied up. Text your answer 86212. First strikeout for Webb. 10 Dodgers have struck out today. Latos had 7. Thatcher had 2 in 1 inning. And now Webb nails Carroll. DeWitt has struck out twice. Both times against Latos. 1-2 to plate. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. Giants lost. They had 1 hit by Pablo Sandoval in the 5th inning. Anibal Sanchez hits the 1-hitter. And Florida shut out the Giants 5-0. The Marlins are heading here, and the Dodgers are heading to San Francisco. Little ground ball to Jerry Hairston. So 2 down in the 7th inning. And the batter will be Brad Osmus. The paid attendance on a Thursday afternoon, a sellout, 42,075. 42,075. Osmus has struck out, walked. He was cut down at the plate on a ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez in the 5th inning. And they are here inside the park, outside the park, up on top of the hill. And bless the children, they're in their own little world in the sandbox back of right center field. There they are. Bless them. Great. Two and 1 the count to Brad Osmus. James McDonald would be due up next. Casey Blake is out on deck. So Osmus trying to extend the inning with 2 down. and that's a base hit up the middle. So Brad Osmus with a walk and a single. He's 1 for 2. And that means Casey Blake will come up and bat for McDonald. Garrett Anderson pinch hit earlier for Padilla and singled with a run scoring on the play. And now here's Casey Blake. Casey hitting .249, 10 home runs, 40 runs batted in. He has only had 3 appearances as a pinch hitter, and he is 1 for 3. Osmus right at the bag with Gonzalez. Ground ball to third, quickly the force play to second, so that didn't last long. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-2 tie. Visit Lexus.com. And by the new King Kong 360 3D attraction at Universal Studios Hollywood. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, we have a 2-2 tie. Jamie Carroll moves from third base to second base. Casey Blake, who batted in the number 9 slot, stays in the game at third base. And Kenley Jansen, the big kid out of the bullpen, would go in Blake DeWitt's spot. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan Webb made 17 pitches. And now it's Gwynn, Cabrera, and Webb's spot. Kenley Jansen inheriting another tough assignment. They asked him to close. He's closed. A kid who was a catcher converted to a pitcher last July. And miracle upon miracles, he's had such a great arm that he could make unbelievable progress and 1 year later be pitching in the big leagues. He's about 6'5" or 6'6", weighs in at least 220, and that's a strike. 0-1. Kenley Jansen from Curacao working on Tony Gwynn. Gwynn has struck out and grounded out, always a threat to bunt, so they shorten up the corners. 1 ball and 1 strike. The end of June last year, the Dodgers moved him from behind the plate to the mound. Ball 2, 2-1. They knew he had a great arm. The question with Jansen, would he throw strikes? Well, it's still pretty early to determine whether he can or not. So far, he has struck out 4 without a walk. 2-1. 2-2. Jansen basically a fastball that's been clocked up to 97, then a slider, curve, and changeup. 2-2. And got him. Gwynn strikes out, and most of the time it seems that Tony Gwynn strikes out looking. So down he goes. He can be just so patient at the plate. For Tony Gwynn, he has struck out 40 times. And with 1 out, we've had 3 consecutive strikeouts. Torrealba and Scott Hairston against McDonald. And now Gwynn against Jansen. So 8 Padres have struck out. 10 Dodgers have struck out. And I wouldn't be surprised that part of it would be under the heading time of game. Will Venable is out on deck to bat for Ryan Webb. And Cabrera hits a high fly ball to right. Ethier with room. Picks it off right near the jury box, as they call it. So Cabrera fly ball to right, 2 down. And Will Venable coming up. The last base hit by the Padres was a double by Torrealba in the 4th inning. The Dodgers have had 2 hits since Loney's home run in the 2nd inning. So here is Venable with Luke Gregerson in the pen. Venable hitting .230. And a strike. Venable started last night, went 0 for 3. Started the game before and went 0 for 3. One ball and 1 strike. 2 out, 7th inning. 9 in a row retired since the Dodgers walked Cabrera in the 4th inning. Two runs, 4 hits for San Diego. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. In the dirt. Waiting the leadoff man, Jerry Hairston, who is 1 for 3 and was robbed of a hit by Jamie Carroll when he was playing third base. The 3-1 the count to Will Venable. Venable is dynamite if he gets on base. And he whacks it into left center. That's not only a base hit. Posednik trying to throw his body at it. And here goes Venable to third base. Dynamite, I should say. Scott Posednik, as outfielders do a lot now, instead of trying to cut it off, you kind of throw your body at the ball to cut it off. But when it rolled away, it meant an additional base. Venable had stolen 17 out of 20. Running is the best part of his game anyway. And he turns it into a 2-out triple. So hit number 5 for San Diego. And now Jansen with a tiebreaker 90 feet away and facing Jerry Hairston. Hairston single to short, scored a run, robbed of a hit by Jamie Carroll and flied to center. 2-2 in the 7th inning. A strike. We always look at a pitcher's record with a runner at third, but of course Jansen has only been in 2 games and 2 innings prior to today. He does not have a wild pitch. 0-1. 1-1. 42,075. By the way, the scoring when Posednik really threw his body at the ball to cut it off, he's going to be charged with an error. It's going to be a double and an error charge to Scott Posednik. One ball and 1 strike. They check. No swing. Gary Crawford down there on the line. Gary Hairston has 7 home runs, 40 runs batted in, hitting .252. Pops it in the air. Carroll going out. Ethier coming in. It's Ethier. So Hairston, a little fly ball. They leave Venable at third. And at the end of 7, we have a 2-2 tie. Smooth sailing out on the water and very rough indoors. A 2-2 tie here at Petco. Luke Gregerson, who pitched briefly last night, faced 3 batters, struck out 2 of them, made only 15 pitches. So Gregerson is right back in. So it's become the battle of the bullpens. It's been Thatcher, Webb, and now Gregerson after Latos. It's been McDonald and Jansen following Padilla. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hong Chi Kuo begins to loosen up. The Dodgers will have the top of the order: Scott Posednik, Rafael Furcal, and Andre Ethier. Posednik robbed of a hit by Jerry Hairston, walked and stole a base, and reached on a fielder's choice. And that's ball 1. Posednik in the 5th inning hit a ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez, who threw to the plate, and they nailed Brad Ausmus. 1-1 the count to Scott. Luke Gregerson, another big guy, got a couple of 6.5s out there for San Diego. Gregerson checks in at about 6'4" out of Park Ridge, Illinois. Luke is 26 years old. Fastball strike. 1-2. Originally signed by the Cardinals in 2006, he came here in the deal that sent shortstop Khalil Green to St. Louis. 1-2. Boy, he's throwing hard, and down goes Posednik. One away. Be sure to follow the Dodgers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcast. Visit Dodgers.com today for more details. So Posednik strikes out. Strikeout number 1 for Gregerson. 11 Dodgers have struck out. 8 Padres. The bunt attempt fouled away. Raphael struck out, grounded out, fly to center. In the Dodger lineup, the only man who has not struck out, James Loney. Oh and 1. And that's hit foul down the left field line, out of play. 0-2. Rafael Furcal 1 for 4 in the past against Luke Gregerson. Last night, Gregerson faced Martin, DeWitt, and Paul and got them all 1, 2, 3. 0-2. Giants lost 5-0 to the Marlins. Anibal Sanchez pitched a one-hitter. Pablo Sandoval had the only hit. The Rockies beat the Pirates 9-3. Jimenez got the win. Ubaldo's record now is 16-2. And the Dodgers and Padres all tied in a knot. Capacity crowd 42,075. Slider at the feet. 3-2 the count to Furcal. Andre Ethier, who has struck out twice, 0 for 3 on deck. Furcal batting .315. Foul tipped and down he goes. So Furcal strikes out a second time. Gregerson has struck out 2. That's 12 Dodgers to bite the dust. 8 Padres have struck out. So we've had 20 strikeouts so far in a game that started at about 3:35. Ethier has struck out twice in the first and 6th, grounded out in the 4th. Ground ball. Hairston has to retreat, throws him out. So Gregerson sets the Dodgers down 1-2-3 in the battle of the bullpens, and we're heading to the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 tie. On Prime Ticket, Friday night will be in San Francisco, and the Dodgers face Tim Lincecum. Saturday afternoon on the Fox Network, Sunday evening on ESPN. Then the Dodgers go home to Dodger Stadium for 4 straight with San Diego. Monday night on Prime at 7 o'clock. Tuesday against the Padres, KCal 9, with more to follow. And more to follow here as the battle of the bullpens continued. In the bottom of the 8th inning, we have a 2-2 tie. Hong-Chi Kuo will pick up. So Padilla, McDonald, Jansen, and Kuo. For the Padres, Latos, Thatcher, Webb, and Gregerson. And again, whether it's the lack of light, the cast of shadows, or just incredible pitching, we've had 20 strikeouts, 12 Dodgers, and 8 Padres. Chris Denorfia has lined to short, grounded to third, fly to left, 0 for 3. Little pop foul, Loney on the run, and just like that, 1 away. Now Adrian Gonzalez. And you look at Kuo and Gonzalez, that certainly is an interesting matchup. Adrian Gonzalez 2 for 10. He has struck out 5 of his 10 at-bats against Kuo, who has just dominated left-hand batters. They're 0 for 36, and he has struck out half of them. The only sunlight is in an area from right center field to the corner, and a fly ball that's going to drop, base hit. Sednick plays it on a hop. So that's the first hit by a left-hand batter this year, and it's a good one in Adrian Gonzalez. So now the switch hitter, Chase Headley, who is definitely far weaker as a right-handed batter. Headley coming up. Where Chase is a 300 hitter batting left. As a right-hand hitter, he's batting 195. Of the 7 home runs, 1 hit as a right-handed batter. Headley today singled, walked twice. His base hit drove in a run in the first inning. Right. 0-1. And that's going to go foul out of play. Adrian Gonzalez is certainly no threat to do any running. He has not been involved in a stolen base. It would be a shock to see him going. So Kuo with Gonzalez at first can pretty much concentrate on the hitter. We're in the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 tie. Fastball misses, 1-2. Kuo hits 92 on the gun. Yorvit Torrealba on deck. And a little pop foul. There's Loney. Loney has 2 putouts on 2 little fouls. And the batter, Torrealba. Torrealba struck out with runners at first and second in the first inning. Doubled to drive in Headley in the 4th inning. And struck out in the 6th. So with his double, Torrealba has hit in 12 straight. He's batting .311, 2 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Ball 1. When the Dodgers bat in the 9th, they are due to send up James Loney, Xavier Paul, and Jamie Carroll. No one throwing in the pen, so we assume Luke Gregerson will pitch the 9th. That's a strike. Now, as we say that, Heath Bell gets up, and Bell, the closer, will begin to loosen up. Big game. It stands for 2. If the Dodgers win, they leave 5 back. If the Dodgers lose, they leave 7 back. Two and 1 for Hung Chi Kuo, a remarkable young pitcher who came in with an earned run average of 0.7. He has walked 11 and struck out 45. So 4-1. 2 and 1 the count. Gonzalez at first, 2 out in the 8th. 2-2. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at twilight. And set that to music. 2 and 2. And that's going to go down in the left field corner, but it's hooking foul. So Torrealba will have to come back and try it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Adrian Gonzalez goes back to first. Torrealba's double went all the way to the left center field wall, 400 feet away. 401 mark. Dodgers not worrying about speed here, not with Gonzalez at first and Torrealba at the plate. Two out in the 8th. Fouled away upstairs off to the right. 42,075 on a Thursday afternoon. Good folks are here. And I'm sure we'll have some big crowds at AT&T Park starting tomorrow night when Tim Lincecum goes to the mound against the Dodgers. Another foul on a check swing. Carlos Monasterios will go against Tim Lincecum. On Saturday, Barry Zito and Chad Billingsley has volunteered to pitch on Saturday. Sunday, Clayton Kershaw and Matt Cain. Everywhere you look, a big series. 2 and 2. 3 and 2. So a slight edge considering the Padres do not have any speed. At least they will have Adrian Gonzalez in motion on the pitch. And now the Dodgers say you might be in motion, but we're going to hold you on. Three and 2. And the pitch hit up in the air to right field. Ethier is right there. So the Padres fail to score in the 8th inning, leaving a man. And we're heading for the 9th in a 2-2 tie. for July. Padilla, Kershaw, or Quo, and the lead kept changing. And the final result, Vicente Padilla, with 40% of the vote, wins the election. Player of the month. Now Heath Bell comes in to be the 5th San Diego pitcher. Heath Bell, the Padre closer, making his first appearance in the series. He's 4-0, a good ERA of 1.8. 17 walks, 57 strikeouts. So better than 3-1. Bell, 6'3" and maybe 250. He's out of Oceanside and Tustin. Originally signed by the Mets out of junior college. And for Heath Bell, he has 29 saves. And it'll be Loney, Paul, and Carroll going up against him. James Loney in the past, 1 for 8 against Bell. That's a strike. 0-1. Loney hit a fastball out over the plate for a home run in the second inning. Grounded out and flied to right since. 0-1. Fastball strike. So he goes right out after him. And the count 0-2. For Bell, they say in high school he could throw 88. So he's got fastball, slider, change, and a splitter. 1-2 the count. Heath has had some troubles with his weight, so when you take 250, might not be there anymore. A few years ago, he actually lost 30 pounds in spring training. One and two. Just outside. 2-2 the count. Bell, somewhat of a character. They said at the end of spring training last year, Bell had a pet rat. That's strike 3. So Loney was just about the last Dodger not to have struck out, and he bites the dust. 13 Dodgers have struck out, and here's Xavier Paul, grounded out, fouled out, and struck out. Yeah, getting back to Bell with his pet rat. The rat's name was Daisy, and he walked around the clubhouse with the rat on his shoulder. 0-1. Heath Bell, quite a guy. 1 out, 9th inning. 2-2. When the Padres come up in the bottom of the 9th inning, and you have Jonathan Broxton along with George Sherrill, they'll have Scott Hairston, Tony Gwynn, and Everett Cabrera. That's a strike. 1-2 to Xavier Paul, hitting .243. Just missed with the fastball, and I mean, he's throwing hard. He hit 95. Time of day about 25 minutes of 7, and of course the lights are not on. They really wouldn't take any effect. With this crowd doing a lot of umpiring now. 3-2 the count. Waiting on deck, Jamie Carroll. Good call. Pitch was low. 3-2. Waiting quietly on deck, Amy Carroll, who scored a Dodger run back in the 5th inning, and Matt Kemp waiting for a call. He would bat for Quo. Still 3-2 to Xavier Paul. Dodgers have used Padilla, McDonald, Jansen, and Quo, and either Sherrill or Broxton. Padres have used Latos, Thatcher, Webb, Gregerson, and now Bell. 3-2. Little roller. Hairston. 2 down. The pitching has been remarkable. Dodgers have 1 hit since the 5th inning and 2 hits since the 2nd inning. The Padres have had 2 hits since the 4th inning, 3 hits since the 1st inning. Ball 1. Matt Kemp is out on deck to bat for Quo. Janie Carroll struck out in the 2nd inning, walked, and eventually scored a run in the 5th, struck out again in the 7th. 1 ball and no strikes. High fly ball to right field. Waiting is Denorfia. So the Dodgers go 1, 2, 3. That's 7 in a row. It also means that Matt Kemp is not going to have a pinch hit assignment. And now let's see, Broxton or Sherrill, and it looks like Sherrill in a 2-2 tie. Scott Posednik, who's played center field all day in his debut as a Dodger, moves over to left field. Matt Kemp will take over in center. Kemp will bat in the spot originally occupied by DeWitt and then occupied by Jansen and Quo. That way, if we do have a 10th inning, Matt Kemp would lead off. And George Sherrill will come in, and he would fit in Xavier Paul's spot. Sherrill will face Scott Hairston, a right-hander, then the left-handed Tony Gwynn, and the switch hitter Everett Cabrera. So George Sherrill, who picked up the victory in that 13-inning game against the Mets, as they called him, he was the last man standing. Well, now George will pick up with Broxton still in the pen, and that's ball 1. Scott Hairston lined back to the box, struck out twice, committed an error in left field. Hitting .235. And ball 2. For George Sherrill, a 1-1 record. 17 walks, 12 strikeouts, so as you know, he's been fighting it. Russell Martin told him that he was not hiding the ball as well as he should. That's a strike. And the last couple of times out, he's gotten some outs. Sherrill worked briefly in the 7th inning last night, got 2 outs, made just 5 pitches. Little foul out of play. 2-2. Scott Hairston, Tony Gwynn, Everett Cabrera, and then you get down to Heath Bell's spot. So they have action in the Padre bullpen again. Hard ground ball off the glove of Blake and goes on through. Casey made a great effort, but Hairston gets the base hit. So a winner possibly at first base just ticked the glove of Casey Blake. And the batter will be Tony Gwynn in what you would think is a bunt situation, but we'll see. Tony Gwynn has 4 sacrifices. Gwynn looking down to Glenn Hoffman to make sure he knows what the call is. Down in the Dodger bullpen now, Jonathan Broxton loosens up. Dodgers have Blake in on the grass at third, looking bunt. Down in the Padre bullpen, in case there are extra innings, Ernesto Frieri. We saw him last night briefly. So Hairston, the winning run at first. 2-2, bottom of the 9th. Time called by the plate umpire Brian O'Nora, who's pretty well banged up behind the plate. He's taken a couple of hard licks today. Hairston at first, and ball 1. Scott Hairston has stolen 6 out of 7. For the Padres, the best things really their strengths: pitching, bullpen, and speed. Padres have stolen 89 bases coming into the game. One ball and no strikes. Gwynn has not shown bunt. And another throw. Showed bunt, took a strike. Tony Gwynn has struck out twice today. He pinch hit last night, had an infield single, and was 0 for 2 with a walk in the first game. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Sherrill making more throws to first than pitches to the plate. Gwynn has shown bunt once. Now, bunts in the air, foul, will go all the way into the seats. 1-2. Trying to bunt an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. That thing really carried. Tony, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Gwynn has grounded into 2 double plays. Shows bunt and got it down. Sherrill has to go to third. So Gwynn does it the hard way with 2 strikes. He moves Hairston to second base. Now you have the switch hitting Cabrera, but I doubt that he would come up to hit. Cabrera struggling, so Oscar Salazar will be coming off the bench. Salazar is hitting .230, 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Coming off the bench, he has been the most successful pinch hitter for the Padres. The veteran has 7 hits. Salazar hitting .324 with runners in scoring position, and that's their spot right now. Aaron Cunningham is out on deck. He would bat for Bell. Breaking ball, it wrinkles low, ball 1. George Sherrill battling Salazar. 1 ball, no strikes. Scott Hairston, the winning run at second base. And a hard foul down the line. That was within a foot or so, it would appear, to have ended the game. But Hairston goes back to second. 1-1 the count. A shot just missed and went down the line. Salazar has been around. He's 32. Originally signed by the Oakland A's. He's played with the Tigers, the Orioles, and the Padres. And he takes away 2-1 the count to Oscar Salazar. One out, 9th inning. Hairston at second. That's on the outside corner. So a couple of veterans scrambling here, Salazar and Sherrill. 1 out, 9th inning, 2-2. Scott Hairston at second base. Fouled away. Sherrill hanging right around 89 with his fastball. And Sherrill goes all the way. So this one means 2. Dodgers win, they trail by 5. Padres win, they lead by 7. 3-2, and the big crowd starting to get up. Curveball fouled away. 2 runs, 7 hits for San Diego. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. And a shot up the middle, base hit. Here comes Hairston, and the Padres win to go 7 games in front of the Dodgers. Oscar Salazar, the hero of the moment, as he comes up with a solid base hit up the middle. 3 runs.